All right, we've got a lot more people just since I looked down at my phone. So thanks for joining us. We will get started shortly. Thanks for joining our information session about pre-K and FWISD and our other early learning programs. Tonight's meeting is also streaming on Facebook Live. And additionally, if you stay through the entire presentation after our Q&A period, you'll be eligible for a door prize. This includes gift certificates from Kroger and Central Market, family-friendly baskets that include wireless headbuds, computer mouse, and other cool stuff. So stick with us through this presentation and we'll tell you how to enter to submit your name for a drawing. And a couple of questions have come into the chat that I can answer now. We've got about 18 people who've already joined us. First question is, will they have a Meet the Teacher for pre-K this year? That's a good question. Typically, we do a big Meet the Teacher night. And, you know, this year has looked a little different. I'm not 100% sure if they will be virtual or in person this year, or maybe a combination. Currently, the schools are making some of those decisions because I know they have had some virtual tours and some in-person tours. It's right now, it really depends on the campus. Another question, I have a pre-K and kindergarten. So do I enroll 2 times? Well, if you have a current pre-K and a current kindergarten student, they will be enrolling as returning students for next year. So you will receive a SNAP code for their registration process, which, you know, at the we're looking to do a little bit earlier, but it'll be no later than July 1st when we open our returning student registration. Can pre-K take the bus with an older sibling? That is a good question that I do not know the answer to. So we'll look into that. See if we can get something a little more definitive for the Q&A section.
Am I on the right link here?
You're in the right place, Dr. Pena.
All right, let me maybe do a backdrop here. All right, I need to close these curtains because
Oh, and Miss Ojo, who is one of our panelists this evening, did answer the question in the chat. Yes, pre-K can take the bus. They get out of school a little earlier than other elementary students, so it's better if parents can pick them up.
do we, Jennifer, do we already have participants on?
Yes, we have 19, so 21.
But we're not live yet, right?
We are live.
We are, okay.
We're recording and we're live on Facebook.
Perfect.
So it is 5:55. Thank you so much if you've just joined us for tonight's information session on Fort Worth ISD's early learning programs. We'll begin shortly. We usually start just a few minutes after the hour to allow everyone to get home, get settled, and get logged in. Tonight's meeting is also streaming on Facebook Live. If you're tuning in there, we appreciate you joining. Thank you so much. Additionally, if you stay through the entire presentation, we've got a little treat for you. You'll be eligible for some door prizes. We'll be doing a drawing on Friday for all of our participants who send us their information, but you won't know the secret until the very end of the meeting on how to submit your contact info. But it will have gift certificates from Kroger and Central Market, family-friendly baskets that will include wireless earbuds, a computer mouse, and other cool goodies. So stick with us till the end, and you'll learn how to enter that. And anytime you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Our presentation will hopefully cover a lot of your questions, but if there's something very specific that we need to address during our question and answer period, please let us know. We did get a great question in the chat about students. Do we have any classes for students? And I'm thinking students who may have some speech issues. And so we do have a service called Child Find. We'll see if we can get that information in the chat. Jessica, if you can look online and see if we can get the Child Find contact information. They provide a lot of services for students who may need some additional help. And so they would work with you to do an assessment on your child and find out what program is the best fit for them. And Ms. Ojo has also added that we do offer what's called walk-in speech for 3-year-olds. And we have some special education pre-K classes.
Yes, I think to the panelists, we do have pre-K 3 at some schools, and we do have pre-K 4. Only select sites for pre-K 3, and you can visit our site for more information on that.
And Ms. Behringer, I believe I just added you as a panelist, and you're our teacher panelist who's joining us tonight.
Yes, here I am.
Yes, hi, there you are.
Hello.
Hi, Ms. Behringer.
Hello. Good evening to all of you.
Good evening to you. I think, Ms. Pettis, we're almost ready for our countdown, right?
I think so. We are, oh. There was a loud crash from my children's room. Hold on one sec. Everybody's good. Olinka, do you can you join or turn on your camera? There you are, Miss Ojo. It's 6 p.m. We're going to give it just a few more minutes so the rest of our parents can join in and hear all the wonderful information we're going to share tonight. It sounds like we're getting some questions on Facebook as well. One question is, if the child turns 4 in November, did they start pre-K at 5 or go straight into kindergarten? So if your child turns 4 in November, they will have to wait until the following school year for pre-K services. However, almost all of our schools do offer pre-K, and we'll talk about that shortly. We do have I believe it's only 4 schools, and they're non-traditional schools that don't have pre-K programs. Well, let's go ahead and get started. My clock just turned 6:02. So again, thank you so much for joining us tonight for our information session on 4th ISD's early learning programs. Tonight's meeting is also being streamed on Facebook Live. And additionally, if you stay through the entire presentation, you'll be eligible for door prizes, including gift certificates from Kroger Market, right?
Exciting.
Family-friendly baskets that include wireless earbuds, a computer mouse, and other very, very cool items. We'll provide directions at the end of the presentation after our Q&A. So stick with us. And so you can get registered for that little drawing that we're going to do on Friday, which is going to be fun as well. If you do have any questions during the presentation, I know we've tried to answer some as they've been coming in. Keep them coming. You can post a question in the chat at any time, and we'll have time for your questions after the presentation. Additionally, joining me tonight is my co-host, Chief of Student and School Support, Dr. Raul Pena. Our panelists include Early Learning Director, Olienka Ojo, and our teacher, Western Hills primary teacher, Stacey Behringer, who will answer your questions after the presentation. So thank you so much for joining us. And who's ready to get started?
I'm ready.
I think
I'm
everybody's
ready.
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 Yeah, I think somebody's asking about how to get this in Spanish on the chat.
Oh, gracias por estar con nosotros. Oprima el botón de abajo para escuchar en español. También pueden ver esto junto en Facebook Live. So, thank you so much for asking that question in the chat. Let me know if you can just give me an okay in the chat.
Sí, padres de familia, si encontraron el botón, está en la pantalla, en la parte de abajo, dice interpretación, y ahí pueden oprimir la parte de español si gustan escuchar esta presentación en español.
Gracias. All right. Yes, the cool thing about this is that we can offer this in English and have someone in Spanish doing interpretation. So they can see and hear everything. And then tomorrow night, we'll be providing another presentation that's in Spanish, and you can tune in and listen to the interpretation in English as well. So, okay, listas, let's go. Let me get the presentation up. And then we can get started. All right, so I will start us off. As parents, You know, we want the absolute best for our children. A safe, loving home, good nutrition, lots of play and exercise, and of course, lots of cuddles. But we don't always know the science of why it's so important during these early years to provide all of those necessities. Let's talk a moment about child development and the impact of learning in the first few years of life. So how does pre-K support and impact your child's development? So 90% of your child's brain develops by the age of 5. That's right, 90%. Your baby's brain doubles in size in the first year. It keeps growing about 80% of adult size by age 3 and 90% nearly full grown by age 5. So during this time, as the brain is growing, our children are learning more quickly in their early years than at any other time in life. And babies, for example, babies whose parents frequently talk to them know 300 more words by age 2 than babies whose parents rarely speak to them at all. Why is it not advancing? Here we go. So another example of how we can support this rapid brain development is reading aloud to children. This helps stimulate brain development. Yet research shows that only 50% of infants and toddlers are routinely read to. And all caregivers who are part of a child's life impact his or her brain development. Stable, caring, interactive relationships with adults, any way, any place they can be provided, will benefit healthy brain development of young children. And so for the ISD, high quality education, early childhood care and education programs can improve children's chances for success later in life. So pre-K is specifically timed to take advantage of this crucial phase of brain development that's necessary for all children. Dr. Pena?
Yes, good evening, families, parents. We're excited that you're here this evening. As you may have heard Ms. Pettis share, the last fact is that high quality early education programs can improve children's chances for success in later life. So you might be thinking, high quality? Yes, that makes a difference. And so you might be thinking, where can you be sure that your child will receive that high quality learning experience? Well, that's here in Fort Worth ISD, and here's why. As you can see, you're looking at real Fort Worth ISD students in action. These are not from any library. These are actual students in our schools. Students attend learning centers. These are hands-on play spaces where children join in small groups to explore, play, pretend, and learn. A few other centers in our Fort Worth ISD classrooms include Pretend and Learn to promote creativity, library and listening to promote their reading skills, art and music to promote creativity. Also, we have science sensory centers, literacy centers, also known as ABC centers, and construction centers where they can engage. Teachers have 2 to 3 circle times a day. Circle time is a group time to hold classroom discussions, dance, sing, and dance songs. Teachers have about 3 read alouds daily where your child will listen to their teachers read and discuss characters, meaning of words, and teachers use expressive and engaging voices reading during these activities. We understand your child may have been impacted greatly during the pandemic. Our teachers are prepared to help them. Classroom activities support building students' social skills, emotional development, and build a sense of belonging in our schools and within their environment. Fort Worth ISD teachers always seek to be inclusive to the students' culture, via books, songs, play, and activities and games within the classroom. What else makes Fort Worth ISD Pre-K the right choice for your child? We offer recess on age-appropriate playground equipment at all of our schools. We offer breakfast and lunch provided free to almost all of our elementary school students. And each pre-K classroom has a dedicated age-appropriate bathroom designed for safety and hygiene. In 2020, the Fort Worth Independent School District and the board expanded its one-to-one technology program, meaning that every child would have their own device. That means that your child will receive a tablet or a Chromebook to engage in learning online in the classroom or at home. You can also sign up for Parent Portal, and this allows you to connect with a teacher. And if you have other children, you can view their information there too. Our classroom size and student to teacher ratio also make Fort Worth ISD a great fit. Every pre-K classroom has a dedicated teacher and teacher assistant and a 22-to-2 ratio. That's right, we have a teacher and a teacher assistant for every 22 students. That's district-wide for all pre-K classrooms. Unlike charter schools, they do some great marketing, but guess what? Fort Worth ISD must, let me say that again, Fort Worth ISD must have certified teachers, unlike many of our charter schools. And that's a big reason why I would want my child in Fort Worth ISD. Pre-K and kindergarten teachers receive over 30 hours of professional learning during the summer and the school year. Our teachers also receive the latest training in how to use technology effectively in the classroom. And pre-K teachers meet weekly to learn from each other, either in person or online, meeting hosted by the early learning department that supports their growth. And here we have Stacy Behringer from Western Hills Primary, who's also our 2018 Elementary Teacher of the Year. And she says, my classroom builds a strong community. Students know they can trust me, they know I love them, and they know they are respected for who they are. You all are hearing from her during our Q&A session. She'll have your questions ready because she'll have some answers for you. According to an assessment from the state of Texas, this is really big, so please listen to this closely. According to an assessment center from the state of Texas, children who attend Fort Worth ISD pre-K are better prepared than their peers who don't. And here you can see this bar graph that shows that. This is so important because setting a strong foundation for learning for your child impacts the rest of their education. By sending your child to Fort Worth ISD's pre-K, you are ensuring that they are more likely to meet other important elementary milestones like third grade reading and math, which are very important for their success. And the graph here shows very clearly the light blue students who are not ready because they have not attended pre-K as compared to students who have. And that's an exciting part of being in Fort Worth ISD. And lastly, on a personal note, this is me on the left, my Head Start graduation picture. And that's me going through a Head Start early learning program, and it worked for me. And to the right, you have my doctorate picture taken 3 years ago for graduating from UT with my doctorate degree. So if there's anyone that says early learning doesn't work, it's worked for me, and Fort Worth ISD is the place to be. So success starts here, and I'm handing it over to Jennifer Pettis. Thank you.
I absolutely love that, Dr. Banton. Just the best. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that is a very important point, you know, that early learning just does lead to success. And we do believe that Fort Worth ISD pre-K is the right choice for your child. As you've seen, our program is high quality. You know, we have certified teachers. It's a fun, safe learning space for your child. And so outside of pre-K, there are other programs, and we're proud to offer all these different options. We have pre-K 3. It's similar to pre-K, but it's for 3-year-olds, and it's offered at select schools. We have a two-way program where students who speak English and Spanish-speaking students, they both learn to get both languages together. Then we have dual language and English as a second language classes for students who speak a language other than English in the home. And then kindergarten is the next big step after pre-K for students who are 5 on or before September 1st. But let's talk a little bit more about pre-K requirements and our online registration process. So for pre-K, your child must be 4 years old on or by September 1st. And that would be 2021 for this upcoming school year. And our program is full day. It begins at 7:50 a.m. and lets out at 2:15. And the best part is that it's free. Other programs charge tuition and offer maybe a half-day program. We're considered a full day program, and that's free to you. All students are accepted. We call it universal pre-K. It simply means we have a spot for your child. Students who do qualify under federal guidelines are placed first. And you may be asking, well, what does that mean? What are the federal guidelines? If you qualify based on household income, speak a language other than English in the home, maybe you're active military or in temporary housing, or the child may be in foster care, we make sure your registration is processed first. So how do you begin? Because right now, our registration for new pre-K and kindergarten students is up and running. You would visit www.fwisd.org/pre-K. If you have other students in the district, you'll be using your existing PowerSchool login and password to begin. If this is your first child in Fort Worth ISD, you'll create a new account. So you'll be asked a series of questions. Primary and emergency contacts. Make sure you have those phone numbers and addresses handy for anyone that you'd like to add as a contact. Information that may help your child access additional services. Maybe you're a member of a tribe or a nation, or maybe in a temporary housing situation. These things could help you get services you needed now. Medical information that the school may need to know. Maybe they take medication that needs to be done during the day, have an inhaler. There are lots of things that you can let us know ahead of time so that we can be prepared for your student when school starts. And then the technology release form. As Dr. Pena mentioned, we're a one-to-one district. So meaning your student will receive that tablet or Chromebook for use at home. And then the last section of online registration is the documents the school will need. A birth certificate, but sometimes we don't always know where that is. So we also accept baptismal records, military IDs, passports, basically any other legal document that establishes the child's identity. And immunizations. You have until the first day of school to submit them. It's good to get them in early, but make sure you submit them before school actually starts. And then proof of address. That would be a current utility bill or lease. So you can upload them during the online registration process. If that's not easy for you to do, you can drop them off. The school will make copies for you, or you can even find a way to email them to the campus. If at any time you need help or have questions about pre-K or your child's registration, you can always contact us. This is a phone number and email address that's managed by the district. We're always happy to help you work out any kind of question. But your neighborhood school is the first step, and it's the best place to receive that one-on-one assistance. And it's a way that the school can also get to know you and your child before you even set foot in the door. So with that, I say, let's open it up to some questions. I'm gonna stop this share for a moment.
I'm excited. I'm excited to have this.
We've gotten quite a few questions in the chat. Let's see. We'll go through this real fast because I think Olinka and Jessica have been providing some answers. What time is spent outside and how much time do they get to eat lunch? I've heard Fort Worth ISD gives a little time for lunch. Students have 30 minutes for lunch and 30 minutes for recess and outdoor learning. Thank you, Olinka, for Ms. Ojo, for answering that. Another question is, about uniforms. Will the students wear uniforms? That's a good one. Dr. Pena, do you want to address that one?
Yeah, I think currently our district policy requires uniforms. That's something that we'll be reviewing. But as far as today, the answer is our students are required to have a uniform upon return to in-person instruction. But it is something we're looking forward to review and update and get not just principal feedback, teacher feedback, but also parent feedback. So if you're interested in participating on any info sessions, please let us know.
Yeah, and this is a good one that we get quite often. What if I don't have a utility bill under my name? Great question, happens a lot. Parents live with friends or other family members. So there are two options you can do. The first one and the easiest one is you can get the person you live with to write a letter and get it notarized and sent to the school, or you can request what's called an affidavit of residency from the school. It's a similar process, but it's a form that the principal would sign and then you get it notarized. But that one is a little bit more of a process, so be sure to contact your school about what's best. Let's see. Oh, question about dual learning. How do you, and I believe that's the dual language program. How do you register for dual language? Miss Ojo, do you mind taking that one?
No, I don't mind at all. We have an amazing dual language program, and we would love to have your student in the program. We do have a lottery system just because right now we're limited on how many classrooms we have because we don't have our dual language program all over the district yet. So there is more information on our website, how you can fill out the application for the lottery process, and then parents will be notified when their students are selected into the program.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
And that kind of goes to this next question. How can you find out which schools offer two-way bilingual program?
Yes, we have dedicated a huge portion of our website right now to pre-K and registration information. So we have an FAQ section under the early learning department, and also on the homepage when you click on pre-K in the taper that runs across the top, it'll take you to the information about the dual language program, and it'll list all of the schools that have dual language programs right now. In addition, I know this wasn't part of the question, but when you get to that component, if you're interested in our pre-K 3 program or any of our other additional programs that we offer in the district, our other high quality programs, you will be able to get that information on the website as well.
Great. And then let's turn it over to Ms. Behringer. What skills will students know by the end of their pre-K experience?
By the end of their pre-K, I can't speak much about that because I am kindergarten, but I know
Kindergarten.
that kindergarten, by the end of kindergarten, we have a massive amount of goals that we try to reach with those students, and we work diligently all school year to meet those goals. Students come in at many different levels, so don't be frightened. You know, when your child comes to school, you may say, oh, my child doesn't know that yet. We have all different levels, and we meet each child at the door individually, assess those needs, and we work all year to get them to meet their highest potential and have a very successful school year. So by the end of kindergarten, most of our students are reading, and they can recognize up to 25 plus sight words. They're doing math, which includes simple addition and subtraction problems. They have a lot of comprehension skills that we work on throughout the whole school year. So they are being read to, as it said in the presentation, 3 to 5 times daily, so we can build those reading skills and make them lifelong learners. So there's a lot we do in kindergarten. We stay busy all day long, that's for sure.
It sounds like it. Ms. Pettis, there's been multiple questions about what will instruction look like at the start of the school year, and I'd like to add a few details, and then Ms. Ojo or any of you that want to jump on. So parents, yesterday we shared with our board at our meeting that our plans for summer learning, and as you know, we had with the pandemic with COVID-19, we had a large number of students that either stayed at home or disengaged from our schools. And so our priority right now is to reconnect and re-engage with as many families to provide currently in-person or virtual instruction. Now, the big question is, what is this going to look like at the start of fall in August? We are currently waiting for more direction from the Texas Education Agency that governs our schools and provides direction on funding and supporting the school efforts. But our goal is to get as many students in person and reconnect with you and re-engage students with our schools in person. We do continue to have COVID protocols in place as far as having sanitizers and safety equipment and PPE at the campuses. And as soon as we're ready and get more direction from TEA, we'll be able to provide more direction to you and our school board to make some other decisions. And so please keep posted, keep us, be connected with us, and we'll keep you informed as the latest developments occur.
Thank you so much. And I'm glad you kind of wrapped those up because they were coming kind of fast and furious and different aspects of what it'll look like in the fall. So thank you so much, Dr. Pena. And then Ms. Ojo, a couple of questions about this in the chat, and I'm seeing on Facebook we're receiving. What about potty training? Is it required?
Yes. So for potty training, it is not required. So TEA, the Texas Education Agency, as Dr. Pena just mentioned, has set out some guidelines to help school districts just make sure we provide the best academic, social, learning, fun environment for all of our students. So we know sometimes, like Stacy said, our students develop at different levels, and we would never want potty training, the delay of it, to be a reason why your child would not come to school. So if your child is not potty trained, they can still come to school in Fort Worth ISD. The teacher will work with the parents to come up with strategies to help your student to become potty trained.
Thank you. And I know when my kids were in the early grades, pre-K and kinder, we still were asked to leave an extra set of clothes in a plastic baggie at the school, just in case.
Yes, and we would recommend that as well. The teacher will keep that in the classroom. I know with COVID, we think about safety protocols, but we'll keep the items safe and labeled for the student. So in case the child needs it, we have that change of clothes for the child.
Thank you.
And Ms. Perez, just to add another assurance of safety, the Fort Worth Independent School District takes safety very seriously. And so every campus has really an abundance right now. And Ms. Behringer, maybe you can speak from the teacher perspective. But we have sanitizers in every classroom. We have face masks. We have protective equipment in every classroom. And we will continue to supply those. And we follow Tarrant County health orders and make sure that we're providing the best safe environment for our students. So many times, the safest environment for our kids is the school system. And Ms. Behringer, I don't know if you want to just talk about some of the safety guidelines that you take during the day in your classroom.
Sure. We have, like Dr. Pena just mentioned, we have never had any issues with a lack of supplies. As you can pretty much imagine, with 5-year-olds, we go through plenty of masks throughout the day. Some children will go through 5-6 masks a day because right now, especially, it's allergy season. So we sneeze a lot in our masks and we can't quite pull it down and get into our germ catchers. So we go through many, many masks. And I have never once been without a mask in my classroom, a supply of masks. We're also provided with an abundance of sanitizing wipes. So we use those throughout the day as well. There's sanitizing stations throughout the school as well in our classrooms. So that has never run out as well. We are all provided with an additional cleansing spray that we use to spray down the classrooms in between different uses after the children eat their breakfast in the classroom in the morning. So there, like I said, there's absolutely no lack of supplies, and we have been able to maintain safety protocols throughout the entire school year with our students, even with our young 5 and 6-year-olds. It was a learning process, of course, when we first began with the little ones, but they have done marvelously, and Fort Worth ISD has provided us what we need to keep everyone safe and healthy at school.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And a couple of questions that I'm trying to catch up on in the chat. One is Ms. Ojo. This parent mentioned that their child is already 5, and they understand that, you know, they're not age qualified for pre-K, but they're not sure if they're ready for kindergarten. Would they be able to enroll in pre-K?
Since pre-K and kindergarten by state standards are not required, the parent does have the right to make that choice. And we definitely understand with everything that has gone on with COVID, things haven't been as normal as we would all like it to be. So we do understand your concern to want to give your child that opportunity to make sure your child is ready to be successful. We also want to reassure you that our pre-K and kindergarten teachers have lots of training, not just in the academic component, but the social emotional area. We want to make sure that our students feel safe, they feel secure, and they feel loved. And our teachers are extremely patient. They understand child development, they understand the learning process, and they understand the reality of everything that's going on. So we want to assure you, whichever decision you make for your student to be in pre-K or kindergarten, your child is going to have the best experience that they can have. And their classroom teacher is going to provide them all the love, fun, and learning that their hands and hearts can hold.
That's great. While we're on that topic, Ms. Ojo, can you talk a little bit about, is childcare available before or after school?
We have some programs in the district based on different partnerships that we have with community agencies where we do provide childcare at some of our locations. And that information is also on our website for the specific schools that will have the aftercare program as well.
Thank you. And Stacey, I want to move over to, you know, you were talking about what are kind of the goals of student learning. Additionally, like what kind of communications can parents expect from their teachers in the early years about their progress?
It's our teachers. We do have a report cards that do go home with our students. In kindergarten is checklist based. So those go home just like every 6 weeks as the regular grades do go home as well with the upper grades. Our parents are, this year has been a little different. I will say that we have not had a lot of the in-house meetings with our parents, but we have in the past had parents come in and we have parent nights where we're discussing goals with the children throughout the year. And then we may have parent conferences again in person with the parents to bring them in and let them go over with the parents what our expectations and goals throughout the year will be. Hopefully we will get back to that again next year, those in-persons, because those are much more personal and you seem to be able to get those ideas across a lot easier. However, this year we have had parents, just like we are doing this evening, where we have Zoom meetings with parents, or we stay in quite good communication via our Google Meets with them. They have joined some of our virtual lives, with us as teachers who are still virtual. Also via emails and text messages back and forth. I think probably almost every teacher got a Google phone number this year when the pandemic hit last spring, so we could keep in constant communication with our parents and keep them updated and as involved as possible with us because of the barriers that have been put up around the COVID protocols. So it is very important for us teachers to keep in that communication with parents. We want them involved as possible. And so there is never any guessing to like, what is my child doing? Or is my child on track? So there's no surprises as we get towards the end of the semester or end of the school year that their child has fallen behind. It is very important to maintain that communication.
Ms. Perez, hearing Ms. Behringer say that inspires me. But I just remembered something else. Unlike charter schools, we accept all students, regardless of where they are, and we take them to that full potential thanks to teachers like Ms. Behringer that are all over the Fort Worth Independent School District. So just wanted to keep reminding us about the value and all the resources that we have in our district.
That's so true. There are a ton of resources at whatever your child needs. It can vary, it could be addressed. Services can be provided. There are lots of programs that support learning in all kinds of different aspects. So yes, thank you of continuing to remind us of that. I'm seeing a couple of questions about naps, Miss Ojo.
Yes, nap time, nap time. So all of our pre-K classes here in Fort Worth ISD are full day. So the students are in school all day learning, exploring, and their little brains collect so much information. And we all know, because the brain is a muscle, you have to rest your muscles. So our littlest learners do take a nap to help with that development, to give them time to rest, to retain all of the information that they are learning. So that is a part of our school day.
Thank you. Yes, nap time is important.
Yes.
Another question I'm seeing a lot of is about notifications. We have a couple people, or at least one person I saw who lives out of the district, but right on the edge, and who's looking to join our 4th ISD family. Another one I think was about the dual language. So just kind of a breakdown of when I mentioned the qualifying students, we are processing those students now and have been since April 1st. Anyone that meets those guidelines, we begin, I believe it's May 3rd, processing our universal pre-K students. Those are the non-qualifying students. They're also out of district. We'll be processing those as well. So and out of district, it is space available depending on which campus you applied to. But if they don't have space, there's probably a nearby school in the area that does have extra space. In 2013, we did pass a bond and built some extensions to about 15 of our schools. And they were pre-K specific extensions. So there are some schools that have more classrooms than others. So I hope that gives parents a little bit of an idea of when they can expect. Mid-May is our big push for the notification letters to go out from the district, but or from the campus, I'm sorry, but we'll be processing students up until school starts. But we want y'all to go ahead and register now, get your seat. You have a plan for the fall. First day of school is August 16th. So that's why we are encouraging you to register now.
Yes. Now.
Let's see, there's a question about summer school.
Oh, can I take that one? I want dibs on that one.
Do it.
Yes. We are in the process of working on some amazing activities for summer school. For our pre-K students, we will not have in-person summer school, but what we are doing, thanks to a donation and some district resources, we are putting together summer activity packets for all of the students. So the students will receive activities that they can do over the summer, and there'll be guidance. It'll have books, school supplies that they can use to create home learning activities.
Thank you so much. And this one goes back to report cards. This is from Facebook Live. Report cards in the upper levels are online and not printed, which is true. They are in parent portal. You could always request a copy from your campus. Are the lower levels progress and report cards printed? So I think
all report cards are online.
All report cards are online.
If you'd like a paper copy, you can always go to the school and request a paper copy, and you will receive one.
That's why it's so important to register for parent portal, because then you will have access to all those documents, especially if you have more than one kiddo. They are all right there in front of you. We do have a couple of questions have popped up, and Dr. Pena, I think you mentioned this earlier, but about the virtual and in-person option for next year?
Yes, I'll share that information again. So our current goal is to get as many students back in person, again, still following our COVID safety protocols at our schools and having sanitizers throughout the school, having protective equipment, PPE as it's called, at our schools. We're waiting for additional guidance from the Texas Education Agency that provides direction for the school districts in Texas. And once we have that information, we'll be able to provide a clear statement on what school's going to look like. But our goal is to have as many students back in person. Even now, we encourage you to send students back in person if you're able. And again, one of the safest places is our schools, our classrooms. And as you heard from Ms. Behringer earlier, we take every precaution possible to make sure that they're clean. We have our custodians working day in. We've increased our filters in all of our HVAC units. So we're taking every precaution possible.
Thank you for that. And a couple of questions about pre-K 3. Olga, do you have a list handy? I've been trying to look that up.
Yes, I will. As I'm pulling it up, I'll go ahead and put it in the chat. So just to remind everyone, right now we don't have pre-K 3 all over the district. We are fortunate enough that we are expanding our pre-K 3 program, so we will have more classes next year than we had this school year. And we're also able to have more students in the classroom. Before, we only had about 15, 16 students. So we're up to 17 students per classroom, 17, 18 students for pre-K 3. So we're excited about that. And I will post that information in the chat.
Awesome, thank you. And I just want to get a couple little nice kudos in the chat. One from Sandra. I was a pre-K assistant at FWISD and I love the program. It's a great help for students. Thank you, Sandra. And Ms. Johnson also added, I work for the district and I really want her to go here. We want her to go here too. So, let's see. Another question. My son was in pre-K this school year, but was removed for attendance reasons. Would he be considered a returning student or a new student? I believe he would be considered a new student. Especially,
I think that's someone we might want to connect with personally, just so we don't lose that information and make sure that we connect with them and support them with a registration if they're having trouble.
Yes, and regarding that question, if you can send your information directly to the panelists and not everyone, all the attendees, we can follow up with you if you want to email or phone call. We're happy to do that. Pre-K 3, yes, is still accepting applications through our online registration system. It should, once you put your student's date of birth in, it should pop up with the schools that are available to you. Again, the first day of school is August 16th, 2021. I'm just kind of going through here to see if I've missed. There are lots of questions about specific birthdays. I think we can take a few of these on very quickly. My student's birthday is December 4th. What is your recommendation? So, in December, I don't know, might need some clarification on that one to help you out there. Let's see. And Miss Ojo is putting the schools in the chat right now that have pre-K 3. This question is, when is the earliest I would know who my child's teacher would be? That's a great question. The school typically sends those out within a week or two before school starts, and that's when they usually do those meet and greets. Sometimes teachers will send special notes, before the school year begins. It just depends on the campus, but it's usually a couple weeks before school starts. And if you have any others, let's see, you know what, Ms. Behringer, let me ask you this. I've had this on my list to ask you. what is the number one thing you want parents to know about your classroom and the experience?
I think I guess I can speak for just like everyone, at least on my campus. I think the biggest thing for parents to realize is what I said earlier, that when they walk through that door on day one, they are looked at as an individual. All of our students all over this district come with our own unique little suitcase. So we get that suitcase and we unpack it and we meet their needs at where they are and we try to push them to their highest potential. So I want parents, if I can give any comfort to parents, please relax and realize that when you give them to us, we are going to unpack that little suitcase that they're bringing to us, and we're going to make them into the best little person that they possibly can be and make them reach for those stars so they can get the highest potential they can possibly reach that school year. So they're individuals, and we all realize that. And early childhood teachers have a magnificent gift to look at all those individualities and bring the very best out of all of the students they get into their classroom.
I love that so much.
I love that.
So
I want to be in your classroom.
No, I was just about to say that.
We have lots of fun. Come on.
You can teach my child.
I think that is, such a good analogy about children. I mean, all of our lives are different, all of our experiences are different, and we're all coming to this shared place, but we have a common goal for our children, right? We want them to be loved, we want them to be appreciated, we want them to make friends, we want them to learn. So I love the way you described that. Thank you so much. And with that, we are getting close to the end of our evening. I do want to kind of pop out of our Q&A and share a little something. Let's see, can y'all see that?
I only see the panelist right now, Ms. Pettis.
Okay, let me try that again. Okay, so
there we go.
Here we go. Those of you who stayed with us, whether you're here or on Facebook Live, this is how you can enter the drawing. I want you to take your phone out. I want you to text 817-500-0381. We're going to hold a live drawing on the 4th ISD's Facebook page for any participant that sends us a text message with their name and contact information. We have to have your name and contact information because otherwise we won't be able to let you know if you won. So you'll need to join us Friday, that's April 29th, this Friday at 10 a.m. on the 4th ISD Facebook page, and we will be drawing names for all of those who enter. So
very excited.
Put this up here for a second. I want to thank all of our, I want to thank Dr. Pena, Miss Ojo, and especially Miss Behringer. Thank you so much for being here. This was a great conversation, and everyone, all of our parents had great questions. Again, if you have more questions, just, continue to reach out to us. Let us know. We're probably going to host another one of these. We actually have our Spanish version tomorrow. So please let us know how we can help you. That's what we're here for. So send us your information in the next hour, and we'll make sure that you get in that drawing. On that note, to my co-host, do you have any final words?
All I can remember from tonight is high quality education starts here. Success starts here in Fort Worth ISD, Ms. Pettis. So I'm excited about our conversation this evening. Parents, I'm delighted, and you can always call us. You can email me directly or call, but we're excited to have, my email address is raul.pena@fwisd.org. If someone could put that in there for me, I'd appreciate it. But please connect with us. and we are ready to help. And I can't wait to see what some of these prizes are. Do we have any clues, Ms. Perez, for like some of these prizes?
Oh, they're going to be good.
All right.
We have gift cards. Again, that's gift cards from Kroger, Central Market. We've got some ear pods and a mouse for your computer, and some other really cool little things. So enter tonight.
Awesome. Those are some great prizes.
Miss Ojo, you have anything you want to share as parting
This
thoughts?
has been amazing. Thank you for the opportunity for me to be a part of this town hall chat. I'm so excited for all the future parents, for your kids to come to Fort Worth ISD Pre-K. We cannot wait. Like, we really cannot wait. We're ready for it to be August already, because we want to get your new kids in our beautiful schools with our amazing teachers. Thank you to everyone that participated, all the great comments in the chat. Thank you for your continued support and being a part of the Fort Worth ISD family.
Thank you, Ms. Ojo. And Ms. Behringer, thank you so much.
No, thank you for letting me join tonight. And I too am very excited, although we still have a year to finish and I have my little friends right now, but I'm always excited to meet new friends. So I hope our parents were able to get a lot of great information, and we look forward to meeting them in the fall.
And with that, we say good evening. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to hear from you soon. Let us know how we can help you. Good night.
Bye. Good evening.